Today's discussion is all about solving simultaneous linear equations. So there are two ways in how we're going to solve a simultaneous linear equations. The first one is by elimination and the second one is by substitution, which we're going to tackle later on. Now, when you say solving simultaneous linear equation, we have two equations here, and we need to find what will be the value of x and what will be your value of y. So we want to find the value of our x and the value of our y in this kind of equation. So what do you mean by elimination? When you say elimination, to eliminate, that means your goal is, like, if you could look at here, you should, what will you do so that this part will be 0 or this part will be 0? Sometimes you need to multiply something so that they will be the same, and then the result will become 0. So that will be your goal. So if you observe this one, x and x, if you're going to add this one, this will be 2x, which is not 0. But if you're going to add this plus y minus y, this is 0. That means you don't need to do anything. You didn't need to multiply something. That means you can simply add them directly. So that will be x plus y equals 2. You add it with x minus y equals 14. So x and x, 2x plus y minus y is 0, which is your goal. 2 plus 14, it's 16. So that means you can now solve for the value of your x. 2x equals 16. You divide both sides into 2. So that means x is 8. So this is your value of x. Now, how are we going to solve for the value of y? Either you substitute this x to the first equation or to the second equation. Either way, you will get the same answer. So in this case, I will try to substitute my x, which is 8, to my first equation. So first equation, x plus y equals 2. The x that we obtained was 8. So this will be 8. X is 8 equals 2. So y is 2 minus 8. So y is minus 6. So we have the value of your x is 8 and the value of your y is minus 6. Therefore, we will write it as a coordinate. So this will be your answer. Now, if you try this one in our equation, you will get a true solution, a true statement. So let's see. 8 minus 6 is 2, which is correct here. 8 minus of a minus 6, which makes 8 plus 6 is 14. So that means our answers are correct. So what do you mean by this point? This point, 8 minus 6, is the intersection of these two linear equations. So this is a line, this is the line, they intersect or they meet at this point. 8 minus 6. Okay, let's move on to our next example. We have x minus y equals 1 minus 4x plus 3y it's equals to 5. Now let's try to add these first values of x here. So 1 minus 4x will give you minus 3x, which is not 0. Minus y plus 3y will be positive 2y. So that means we need to multiply something so that these two will be the same. So what do you think? Now remember, for example, you have 12 minus 12. If they are same opposite sign, the answer is 0, right? Or minus 12 plus 12, the answer is 0. So you need to put this in your mind. So in this case, in my first equation, if I'm going to make my x 0, I will multiply this something so that it will be the same with this, but opposite sign. That means I will multiply 4 to my first equation. So this is my first equation. So this will become, we multiply this to all. So this will become 4x minus 4y is equals to 4. And I will add it to my next equation. I didn't do anything because I know if I'm going to add this 2, this will become 0, which is my goal. So 4 minus 4 is 0. Minus 4y plus 3y, it's minus y. 4 plus 5, it's 9. So dividing minus y equals 9. Divide minus 1, divide minus 1. So y, it's minus 9. So we have now our value of y. So we will substitute it, if you want, first equation, because I think this is easier. So y, it's minus 9. We'll substitute. Okay, let's substitute it to the first equation. So that will be x minus y equals 1. X minus of a minus 9 equals 1. So x plus 9 equals 1. So x is 1 minus 9, which is minus 8. So my value of x is minus 8. My value of y is minus 9. Therefore, minus 8 minus 9. The intersection point of these two lines. Okay, let's move on to our last example for this method, elimination method. So if you observe 2 and 3, 3 and minus y. So what will you do here? So you want them to be the same, or this to be the same with opposite signs. Here, if you look at here, 2 and 3, so that means you need to multiply something to both. But in this case, 3 and minus 1, that means it is easier for this to multiply something here that will make this equal to this. So that means in this second equation, I will multiply it with 3. Yeah? So that this will be 3 into 3, 3 into minus y equals 23 into 3, 969. I'm going to add it with my first equation. So see, minus 3 plus 3, this will be your goal, which is to be 0. 9x plus 2x, it's 11x. 69 plus 8, it is 77. 11x equals 77. Divide both sides by 11, so x is 7. So we have solved the value of x. Now to solve for the value of y, you can choose the second one or the first one, whichever you would like. So I don't know, which one should I like? First one or a second one, okay, for a change. So x is 7. So this will be 21 minus y, it's 23, minus y, 23 minus 21, 23 minus 21, it's 2, divide by minus 1, so y it's minus 2. So this is your value of x, which is 7, your y value it's minus 2, therefore 7 minus 2, x is 7, y it's minus 2. That means these two lines meet at this point, they intersect at this point, 7 minus 2. And this is how you do elimination method. That means you should multiply something, sometimes both, sometimes only for one equation, so that the total will be 0. So, and then you can solve for the other value. That is elimination method.